So good afternoon, class. Once again, my name is Esty, and the title of my speech today is "It's a Privilege, Not a Right." And a couple weeks ago, actually, it was right after spring break, I heard a lot of students complaining about this. And this one particular person, she was like, "I'm so tired of school, I'm ready to go home." Now, in all honesty, I think each one of us in here felt, at least the majority of us in here felt, that school was a little overbearing when it came to the final weeks of the semester. Even now, we're getting ready for finals. It's tiring. Sometimes we don't want to get out of bed. We skip class because we're tired, when really and truly all we've been doing was sleeping in the first place. I know I'm guilty of that. And so we go on, we say, okay, maybe I'm going to procrastinate this. I'm going to wait a couple days after to do this. And you know, procrastination becomes more and more, and it becomes a habit as the school year winds down. And we're in Hawaii. For many of us, we feel as if, oh, we're in Hawaii. You know, we're supposed to be having fun, even if we're in college. Let's have fun. But there's also a downside to that, and I feel like the founding fathers of our education, the ones who built this school, they would look upon us and our procrastination, the laziness that we do at sometimes, and they would actually be disappointed, because for many of them, their ancestors and those before them, they did not have the privilege to attend a college to have a college education, mainly because of gender, race, and your skin color, mostly, unfortunately, too. That happens to be a big one as well. And so today I'm here to talk to you about why pursuing a college education, regardless of the circumstances that you may face, regardless of how hard it may seem, why you should go on and continue and finish that college education. Okay, there we go. And why concerns us? Okay, first of all, each of us, we're all here in college already. If you're sitting in this class, you're listening to the speech, that means you're already enrolled in a college education. There's benefits that you get from having a college education. There's also sacrifices, and once again, as I mentioned before, it's also a privilege. Okay, the sacrifice. According to the College Board, the average cost of tuition for the 2013-2014 is roughly about $30,000. That is a lot of money for every school year, every semester that we go through. This is roughly the amount of money we pay. Some of us in here are here on scholarships, some in the military, but for many others, they're paying this money out of pocket. And our parents, or even ourselves, they're already making that sacrifice. So while we're here, why let that money go to waste? And this is a graph to show how much the tuition has risen over the past couple years, from 1998 to 2008, and we're in 2014. So imagine how much more that graph has risen. This is the median income of roughly amount of money that Americans make on a regular basis. Okay. Mentally and emotionally. We have all given a lot to be in school today. Mentally and emotionally, it has drained us all. And according to the New York Times, they did a research study on this, and they had a segment in their newspaper, and they said that emotional health of college freshmen alone has been the lowest in 25 years. And now I know everyone's in here are not college freshmen. Some of you are sophomores and even seniors getting ready to graduate. But at one point you were, and you may even know someone who's getting ready to come out of high school and to getting ready to become college freshmen. And we all know that it is a sacrifice. Some days we're homesick, we miss our family, we don't have the emotional strength to keep going on. But yet we're here to the final ends of the semester, and since we've come this far, it is not a point to give up as yet. The privileges. According to the study done by the USA Today, 63% of high school students go to college in the United States. That is, surprisingly, I thought it would be lower, but that is actually a very high number. And we're a part of that 63% today. In other countries, such as the Caribbean, where I'm from, to have a college education, for me, if I stayed back home, I probably would not have been in college today. Moving to the US, that gave me the privilege of being here. And that's why my title says it's a privilege, not a right. There are people around the world who does not have the right to go to college because of their gender. Many females in other parts of the world cannot go to college simply because they're considered inferior. So we have both males and females in this class. You're here, you're a part of that 63%. Now, 37%. If there's 63% going to college, if there are not other factors involved, and I'm sure there are, when you do the math correctly, 37% do not. And that could have been you. Each one of us could have been a part of that 37%. We could have been somewhere around the world where we did not have the right to be earning a college degree, or we could have been somewhere else. Now, the benefits of having a college education. Now, back in the beginning, I said you have sacrifices and it's all the privileges. That money your parents are spending, or even yourself, you're working, some of you are working jobs, going to school, that all of that money, it has its benefits. And one of the biggest ones are the job opportunities. Compared to students with high school diplomas and to students who go on to earn graduate degrees, the amount of job opportunities are more open. And back home in the Caribbean, there are a lot of the older generation who were not privileged to even learn to read and write. So there are adults walking around without being able to read a simple post sign or a postcard. And because of that, many of them work regular jobs where they do construction work in the street. Some of them even go to become maids to those that are in a higher class in society. And so pursuing and finishing your college education will allow you to have better job opportunities. The financial income. A lot of us love to have money, and pursuing your education will also increase your financial income, the job opportunities that you have. With a college education, you go after the degree that you're interested in. If you're in college, unless you're an undecided major, the degree that you're pursuing is what you're passionate about. And because you're passionate about that, the job that you will find, you will also be passionate about that. So it will become a career, not necessarily a job. You're not working for the rest of your life, you're doing what you love. And because of this, money will come in easily. So all that money you spent into college is now, it doesn't seem as a burden that you're paying. It's actually an investment. You're investing in your life and the life of those after you. And so what should you do? Now, I know it gets hard. It's easy for somebody to stand up in front of you guys and tell you to stay in college, do this, do that, but it also gets really hard. So I'm here a few points, and I said the first one is to get focused and stay focused. We come to college the first year, we're all excited, everything is going good, we have a planner, and then at the end, as we go on through the school year, we tend to slack off. And even now that we're getting closer to the end, this is more than ever the time that we need to stay focused. Hit harder and learn from your circumstances. We all have trials and tribulations that go through in our life. Not because we're in college don't mean that the world stops. Sometimes we feel pain, the emotional stress, the mental stress. And what I learned to do was actually learn from my circumstances. If I go through something, I find the lesson that's needed to learn in that situation to help me move on to the next point. And I encourage each of you to do that as well. Find the motivation. What brought you here in the first place? Use that to help you to stay focused, to keep going, to push harder, and let that be your motivation to continue. So all in all, regardless of what you face while you're here in college, how long that status may change, whether or not you plan to finish, I encourage each of you to take hold of the position that you're in. You're here with a privilege, it's not a right. A lot of people wish to be in the position that you are in here today. So I encourage you to take hold of that, run with it, and go after your college education.